guys, this is Alex of Finding Wholesomeness. Today we're going to take a look at the part of the story of Elijah, specifically the chapter 19, just to see what we can draw from it. So let me just set up the story. So Elijah, not Elisha, Elijah with a J. Elisha was a different guy, but he was a prophet. But during this time period, the people, this entire nation was against God. There was a lot of idol worship going on. The covenant between God and men was broken. But Elijah, he was starting to break through. He provided proof of God. He did miracles and amazing things. But his actions, as amazing as they were, they angered Queen Jezebel, the queen of this area. 1 Kings 19:2. So Jezebel sent this message to Elijah. May the gods strike me and even kill me if by this time tomorrow I have not killed you as you have killed them. So at this point, Elijah is running for his life, which is where we pick up verse 4. So he went alone into the wilderness, traveling all day. He sat down under a solitary broom tree and prayed that he might die. I have had enough, Lord, he said. Take my life, for I am no better than my ancestors who have already died. He was at the end of himself. Jezebel is going to come and kill him. He couldn't do anything about it except run, and he was clearly tired of trying to fight it. Even if you hadn't had someone threatening your life, you've reached the end of yourself at some point in your life, and if you haven't, then you will. And it gets ugly. I mean, we're doing things that we wouldn't normally do. We go back to the things that we said that we would never go back to because it's the only thing that we know how to do to get out of it. Elisha was running from Jezebel, but maybe you're doing a different kind of running. But the thing is, when you run away from something, you're also running to something else. If you're running away from that dark place inside of your head, then you have to occupy yourself with something else. And that something else that you fill yourself with, it might not be good for you or healthy. It might work for a little while, but at the end of the day, you might be worse off than you were before. And I know this because it's something that I've experienced. Elijah was running away from his death at the hands of Jezebel, but he was running to the idea of taking it into his own hands. I have had enough, Lord, he said. Take my life, for I am no better than my ancestors who have already died. But let's look at God's response to that in verse 5. He lay down and slept under the broom tree. But while he was sleeping, an angel touched him and told him, get up and eat. He looked around, and there beside his head was some bread baked on some hot stones and a jar of water. He ate and drank and lay down again. God's response to Elijah's prayer of death was to tell him to keep going. And maybe that's what he's telling you right now. It wasn't over for Elijah, and it's not over for you. It may seem like it's over right now when your personal Jezebel comes and threatens your life, but she hasn't met God yet. Your addiction hasn't met God yet. Your health issues haven't met God yet. Your financial issues haven't met God yet. Your past hasn't met God yet. But back to the story. Elijah was able to make it to Mount Sinai. Verse 9. He came to the cave and he spent the night. But the Lord said to him, what are you doing here, Elijah? Even through Elijah's fear, God was still with him. Elijah was in this dark cave by himself, but God still met him there. God met him there. God can meet you in that dark place too. He can meet you there. Maybe today he's asking you the same question. But he asked Elijah the question, what are you doing here? And Elijah's response was in verse 10. Elijah replied, I have zealously served the Lord God Almighty, but the people of Israel have broken their covenant with you. They have torn down your altars, and they have killed every one of your prophets. I am the only one left, and they are trying to kill me too. I think it's interesting that he put that last part in. Not only am I being hunted down and the entire country is against you, but I'm alone. It's just me. I'm the only one left. First of all, I think that's a perfectly reasonable perfectly reasonable argument for why are you here. But we forget that it's often when we don't see it, that's when God is working. From Elijah's perspective, he was the only one left. It's them against me. They have a lot of guys and an angry queen, and she wants to kill me, and I'm just one me. And I'm just going to skip to verse 18. I encourage you to read the rest of the story on your own. But here's how God responds to Elijah's aloneness in verse 18. Yet I will preserve 7,000 others in Israel who have never bowed down to Baal or kissed him. God's telling him, you don't know this yet, but you're not alone. I have 7,000 other people who are on your side. And even in the face of aloneness that you might feel right now, you're not alone. God will always send people into your life. You don't have to face your Jezebel alone. There's someone on your side, even if you're not seeing it yet. I know I threw a lot at you with today's message, but you have to know that you're not alone, and that if you're in that dark place, God can meet you there if you let him. Thanks for watching. This is Alex of Finding Wholesomeness, signing out. Bye.